Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, warriors. Welcome to the third lesson of science. Today we are going to see an important topic, and is the erosion in the planet and the causes and the effects. And we are going to see. But before to start, I want to show you this part of the Google Classroom Science that you have to remember. In here, in classwork, on classwork option, the bottom, you have to upload the homework. Classwork 1 for the homework 1, classwork 2 for the homework 2, right? In there, you have to put the classwork of every class. I'm really worried because some students, most of the students didn't upload. Only 5 or 40, right? Another 5, like 10 or 40 students upload the homework. The rest of you is not appearing in here. So I'm really worried because you need to focus in your classes. You need to focus in your classes and advance is important. Okay? So the topic of the lesson 3 is on lesson 3, break it down. Break it down. And the class is going to start with one question. What processes cause changes in air surface to take place? The surface of air is constantly changing. This might surprise you. This might surprise you, right? After all, hills, valleys, and rivers don't appear to change much at all from day to day or even year to year. That's because most changes to air surface happen slowly. They are part of the process called erosion. Erosion. This is the topic. Erosion is the natural movement of rocks, right? Pay attention because I'm going to tell you why. The natural movements of rock and soil over time, agents of erosion, the forces that move the material are water, wind, and ice. What does mean, mister? Does mean that when it's raining, for example, or when it's windy, we are going to have erosion. Not in this day. We are going to have erosion in years, months. For example, actually September and October are months that is raining a lot, and too much rainfall or water on the soil cause erosion. For the reason you're going to see that some house, right, some houses some homes or houses go down, right? Or some mountains or hills go down. And all the families and the people, they are losing homes, they are in problem, right? Why? Because erosion affects the soil. And one of the causes is the water, the wind, and ice. When we say ice, it's the snow, right? In here, we don't have snow. Only in the countries that snow, right? So wind can move an enormous boulder through water, can wash away and enter an entire mountain. This is the thing that I'm telling you. Too much water every day, every month, every year, wash the soil. And then it's going to change. Some places depend the amount of rainfall or the amount of water on the flat, especially the flat areas, right? The plain or flat areas. Before the forces of nature can move anything weathering must take place, right? Weathering is a process in which rock is broken down into smaller pieces. Weathering and erosion are both natural processes of series, so you have to read this part. It's important to understand the erosion and why. Now we are going to see other examples why or how erosion affects the physical forces act on rock. Mechanical weathering is taking place. Water is a common cause of mechanical weathering. Water can cause rocks to break apart. the water, right? So the glaciers, huge masses of ice, snow, and rock, move very slowly as they do. The greenhouse scrape away of layers of rock. Even trees and animals can be sources of weathering. An animal that uses its cloud to burrow underground. For example, the big animals like elephants, right? Rhinos, right? Rhinoceroses. They are when they walk in the areas, for example, in Africa, in the places with in their habitat or the ecosystems where they live, they because they walk a lot, the animals, the heavy animals, can cause erosion on the flat areas, right? So the animals too, because they can break rocks into smaller pieces. This is the topic. When one rock break down, when the plain areas go down, when the mountains go down, and people that live on the mountains go down with the house too, right? This is the cause, or this is the name, erosion or weathering, right? So pay attention to this topic. It's very important. In Tegucigalpa, in Valle de Ángeles, you can see erosion around the street, around the road. Yeah, in some curves of the road or the street that go, the road that go to Tegucigalpa. When it's raining a lot, you're going to see the big rocks go down on the road, and some accidents happen. Some rocks can go on the cars, ¿verdad? Se desprenden las montañas en la carretera y uno mira aquel montón de piedras. In this moment, we can say erosion. Erosion, right? Right? All of the things that talk about rocks, mountains, and soil. Okay? So, chemical weathering causes change of the minerals that are found in rocks. It breaks down to bonds and hold rocks together, right? The mineral of the rock inside, when it's raining a lot, break down and have erosion. Automatic, right? This is a problem of the nature, right? So, some examples of erosion, you can see the picture. One material has been weathered and carried away often by water. The water can be in the form of rain that beats again, right? A cliff of ocean. Something important is if one river across one city, right? This is our problem in Tegucigalpa. For example, in Tegucigalpa, there is a mall with the name Cascadas. Under the mall, under the building of the mall center, is a river, across a river. And it's washing and washing and washing the soil. And in one moment, this building can go down. And it's going to be a big accident. For the reason it's important to understand, engineers, architects, they have to know where are they going to build a house, right? Erosion is dangerous, right? Erosion and watering are usually slow. A big storm like a hurricane can speed that along. Or otherwise, you must be patient and observant to see the landscape change. The movement of the water is going to wash the process in the past of the same water. Okay? Okay, before to start the class, I want to tell you something important is how can we stop erosion? How can we stop the erosion? We can plant grass on the ground, on the ground, on the soil. The grass help the erosion of water. Number two, this is not in the book, but Mr. Marvin is telling you. How can we stop the erosion? Plant trees, right? Plant trees because the roots of the trees hold the rocks in the soil. It's important. If your house is in a dangerous area, in a hill, in a mountain, and you see that you don't have trees, plant trees. It's important, right, to do it. The classwork, okay? Circle the letter of the best answer to each question below. Which of the following is an agent of erosion? Thunder, ocean waves, glaciers, both B and C. Aha! Chicos, you can print this page if you want to make it easier for you, if you want, okay? If it's not, you have to copy. Number 2, what is the result of the processes of watering and erosion? Option A, changes to landscape. B, the formation of larger mountains. C, more flooding during times of heavy rains. Overflowing rivers and streams. What is the result of the processes of watering and erosion? Read correct. Write the answer of these on the lines below. Explain how watering and erosion are different from one and other. You have to look for this word, erosion definition, watering definition. You have to explain what is the difference between, right? Love you so much, warriors. You have to hurry. I am really worried because you are not presenting the homework. You are playing too much games. Ese jueguito que ha salido ahora, miro que juegan mucho y no están enfocándose en sus clases. Please, please, do your homework. It's not a homework, it's a classwork. You should do it on time. Okay? We are going to make 7 lessons. This is the lesson 3. So I'm missing 4 lessons. Please, see you next week. The next week we are going to have a online class to review these topics. Okay? So we're going to talk online the next week. Mr. Marvin is going to post on Friday the day that we are going to have the class. Love you so much. Pay attention, do your homework, do your classwork, sorry. Not homework, it's classwork. And focus in your classes. Bye.